just indicates the possibility of one with this storm as it is moving across these locations here right now. I want to bring up some more information here and kind of give you an idea of where this particular storm might be tracking here over the next few minutes. So if you're in these locations, get to the lowest level of your home. This is very close to the Ohio River is where this circulation is right now. So Reeds, Center Point, Passaic Chapel, Red Oak, all in the path of this possible tornado. Russellville eventually too around 547, Ash Ridge around 553 and Ash Ridge Elementary School there. So that is where the general circulation is heading. If you're in those locations, just get to the lowest level of your home and wait for this thing to pass. We do not have any confirmation that this is producing a tornado, but there is circulation here. So if it were to produce a tornado, even if it does, it would likely be a brief, relatively small tornado that it produces here based on what we are seeing on radar this afternoon. Again, this is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning in effect for parts of Bracken County, southern Brown County, a little sliver here of northwestern Mason County also is included in this tornado warning that we're seeing here right now. So if you're in those spots, get to the lowest level of your home. If you're in Augusta, if you're up here around Center Point, if you're in the Georgetown area, if you're in the Ripley area right now, you officially are under this tornado warning. So get to the lowest level of your home in these locations. Byrd Township, Russellville, Asheville also included in this tornado warning as you carry it up into sections of Brown County. The actual circulation very close to the Ohio River right now, right around the Augusta area. So this is the area of concern that we're seeing right now. And again, I'm looking at some of these velocities here, and yeah, it looks like right here along the Ohio River between Stony Point, Reeds, off to the southeast of Higginsport, that is where the circulation is currently located. So those are the spots that we have the most concern with right now. Those are the spots the circulation is currently located that has prompted this tornado warning. Down here, Bracken County, where Augusta is, Stony Point, Ripley right here on the river in southern Brown County. You folks included in this tornado warning, but the general circulation near Stony Point heading across the river toward the Center Point area. That is where we're seeing the circulation right now. So if you are in these locations, that is where you need to find a place of shelter right now. We're getting some oranges starting to show up here in our velocity. So again, we're looking within the storm here. Winds that are going away from the radar and winds that are going toward the radar. So right here is where we have that circulation. It looks like it is centered pretty much right along the Ohio River right now, right between Bracken County and Brown County, basically right here where Bracken, Brown, and Mason County all come together on the Ohio River. That is the spot that we're seeing this circulation. So we're going to come back here to our regular radar here. I mean, we're getting pounded here in this area with extremely heavy rain, extremely intense lightning here in these spots too. One other thing we can do is take a look at where the circulation is heading. I want to check though first and see. It looks like we might have a lowering of the CC there, Paul, which tells me that we could potentially have something definitely going on here. So that is why the Weather Service has issued this tornado warning. So that is looking at possible debris being lofted in the air. And we are getting some indications there could be something going on there. So that is a bit concerning. So again, you're looking at Bracken County, you're looking at Mason County and Brown County. These are the spots where we have a tornado warning currently in effect. If not a tornado, some very strong winds are coming out of the storm right here in this general location. I want to take a look again at this. I'm getting correlation coefficient 0.94, so I'm looking at some technical information now on this. There's certainly enough circulation there. We're seeing enough of the lowering of the correlation coefficient that is telling us that there could be a tornado right here under all this heavy rain. And I'll tell you, if there is one there, you're not going to see it because this thing is going to be rain wrapped with extremely heavy rain that is moving across this spot right here. So again, if you are here in southern Brown County, this does include Georgetown, Ash Ridge, Byrd Township, Russellville, get to your safe place right now. if you have a basement, that's where you want to go. The lowest level of your home is going to be the best place to be as the storm moves through. Augusta included in this, Ripley also included in this tornado warning right now. Meteorologist Paul Poteet is looking at the possibility you got some hail with this thing too. You're looking at the hail detection on this right now.
It definitely is popping in all manner right now. Not only the rotation that we've been seeing, but indications from our hail detection algorithm that you're getting pounded with some hail just to the south of Augusta. Also, again, moving off to the northeast, about to cross the river through there on the way from Augusta over toward Stony Point and also eventually over towards Center Point. So if you're anywhere in those areas around Center Point, Georgetown, it's headed your way. That's where the hail would be the most obvious right now, the largest hailstones. That's the area of the tornado warning right now where you see the green whipped around like that. That's where we're getting indications of rotation right now. So we'll try to highlight that for you. It's right around the Ripley area as we speak. I'll get out of the way there so you can see it a little more clearly. Right through Ripley and just about to cross the river there. 52 as you go from Ripley over towards 62 and Historia right now in this area here right along the river and just to the northeast. Those are where the winds are coming together right now, where we have definite signs of rotation. As a matter of fact, let's just look at the radar. Obviously, the reflectivity data. This is the reflection of the amount of precipitation, the intensity that it's hitting right now, heavy rainfall over in the Ripley area. We have another system that will take a look at just general rotation. And again, it's in that area around Ripley. We're also picking up some that may be of concern toward those of you watching in Maysville. Let me give you a reset again. This is where the tornado warning is in place. And this is the one, we'll put the information up on the screen there, that is in place at this time until 5:45. John, it looks like it's now confined to Brown County. They may have done a little bit of trimming on that.
The circulation has moved out of Bracken and Mason County, it looks like right now, Paul. So they have trimmed it out of Bracken County, out of Mason County. So we're going to give folks in Augusta the all clear right now. If you're in Augusta and Bracken County, if you're down to Stony Point, we're going to give you the all clear at this point. The circulation has moved north of there. It has crossed the Ohio River. Now it is up into southern parts of Brown County, very close to the Center Point area. Between Center Point and Ripley is the location where we're seeing this general circulation. So right in this general area here between Ripley and Center Point is where the possible tornado is located. Again, Doppler radar indicated right now. We've certainly seen some signs that there's possibly some debris that's been lofted up here, but nothing that points out directly to a tornado being on the ground at this point. Like I said, typically in these situations, if we get a tornado, it is going to be brief. It is going to be a small tornado that spins up in these line segments of these storms. We call these QLCS tornadoes, quasi-linear convective system tornadoes. So they spin up briefly in these little kinks on the winds that are along these lines of storms. So that is our concern right now, that there could be a brief tornado that comes out of this storm as it slides up here through portions of Brown County. Again, we have a tornado warning in effect for the southern half of Brown County. It does include Georgetown, Russellville, Center Point, Byrd Township, all under a tornado warning. Hamersville, Mount Orab, you are not included in this tornado warning. This is for the southern portion of the county right now as this storm is crossing over the river. Let's give you another storm track on this thing as it continues to come up into Brown County, give you an idea of some of the locations where the circulation could pass through. Red Oak there around 542, Russellville around 548, Russellville Elementary School there, Ash Ridge around 554, Ash Ridge Elementary School there, of course, and then Mount Olivet Church there around 557. So as we carry up here into Brown County, those are the areas of primary concern right now as we're tracking this circulation that is moving through. Again, this is a Doppler radar indicated tornado, so we have no confirmation of a tornado, but as we come in right here, this circulation's getting ready to cross 62. So Ripley down here at the bottom of your screen, you go up 62 toward Red Oak there. This circulation is just west of 62 now, moving quickly off to the northeast. So if you're in Russellville, you need to be in your safe place right now. If that's a basement, get to your basement. If you don't have a basement, the lowest level of your home is going to be the safest place you could be. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Wait for this storm to pass by. Let's hope it's not producing a tornado. Let's hope that it doesn't. But this thing is spinning enough to give pause to us and allow the National Weather Service to issue this tornado warning for Brown County that is going to go until 5:45. Looking at how much gate-to-gate shear we've got here, it is not a ton that we're seeing here, which is certainly some good news. But again, enough rotation there. It's weaker rotation at this juncture, but enough rotation there just west of 62 that has prompted this tornado warning for sections of Brown County. I want to look at the rotation detection here, and that is the radar kind of detecting the rotation here as it's approaching 62 there in purple. So there's obviously still some rotation with this, as Paul mentioned, perhaps some hail with it too. We have, at the very least, extremely heavy rain and really intense lightning that's in this section of Brown County right now. So at the very least, that is what you're going to see. Intense rain, intense lightning. You're not going to see the tornado likely, if there even is one here, because it's going to be rain wrapped. There is so much rain, so much precipitation with this storm. South of there is also a severe thunderstorm warning that does cover portions of Adams County and Mason County. That's going to go until 6 o'clock. It also covers sections of Brown County too. That is a severe thunderstorm warning for winds to 60 miles per hour that's moving across the Maysville area down to Mayslick right now. That is crossing over into Adams County, Manchester, West Union. You're going to be next in line for this severe thunderstorm warning. So we can kind of give you a track on that portion of the storm where you could see winds again going to 60 miles an hour. Bradysville around 538 here, Manchester around 545. Fierceville around 546, Catbird 554, West Union 558, 6 o'clock in Concord 608, and Charters and Duncansville around 609. That is the severe thunderstorm warning portion of this storm. Not a tornado warning for those areas, just a severe thunderstorm warning. So resetting right now, absolutely nothing of concern. For most of the tri-state, just some rain in the Cincinnati area. It's the southeastern portion of the viewing area that we're concentrating on right now, with not only a severe thunderstorm warning, but also a tornado warning, which continues here for sections of Adams County near Georgetown, Russellville, Center Point, Byrd Township. If you're in these locations, be in your safe place right now. And Paul, you've got a really good visual on where that circulation is heading and where it's been.
The hail detection algorithm that we use sometime indicates where the storm is very active too. And again, you're looking at Brown County there, so in between Georgetown and Ripley. A tornado warning, if you're not familiar with the area, just, Cincinnati is obviously over here to the northwest, but that goes until 5:45. This severe thunderstorm warning is parts of Adams, also Brown County, down to Lewis and Mason County. That goes until 6 p.m. this evening. So here's Ripley, here's Augusta, here's where hail could likely be occurring at this time. And as far as the winds and the velocity scans, some of the latest information would still point to some concern. I mean, it's crossed the river now and it's gotten into Ohio, so it's crossed 52. And that area around Red Oak and Byrd Township there, where you can see the reds and the greens coming together by 62 if you're watching in Red Oak or Byrd Township or even Neal, and maybe just to the south part of Russellville too as this heads to the northeast. You can see the radar signature of this, just the reflectivity alone. Obviously a lot of twisting and turning going on there. The storm, according to the Weather Service, has been rotating at times all the way from back in Brooksville, Kentucky. They were looking at a little bit of rotation earlier, and it's had gotten more and more persistent. That's the reason for the tornado warning that's in place right now. And this sometimes trails the velocity that we show you by a little bit of time. But again, it's crossed the river now. If you're watching in Kentucky, that portion of the tornado warning has been canceled. So all of the attention is on Brown County for the moment. There may be a little bit of rotation also, or the storms could just be spinning at a higher altitude in there between Maysville and Ellsbury. So again, where you see the red polygon, that's where the tornado warning is in place till 5:45 for Ripley, Georgetown, Ash Ridge, and Bird Township. And again, here's the area of concern by 62 and over by State Road 353 in Brown County as it heads to the north and northeast in between Russellville and Bird Township at this time. There's a wider look at the radar, and we'll give you one more reset on the warnings. The tornado warning goes until 5:45, so at least another 5 minutes here. The severe thunderstorm warning till 6 o'clock for parts of Adams County, Lewis, Mason, if you're watching in Brown County. So you folks in Brown County, we certainly want to focus in on you, John. Still anywhere to the east of 62 right now and around State Road 353 in these areas right here in Brown County, probably where you want to be in your safe place at least a little bit longer through there. The good news is I don't see any spotter reports, no confirmation of anything that's been sighted on the ground at this time. So some good news here with about 5 minutes left in the tornado warning.
As an aside, Paul, the folks in Brown County got to be saying, you got to be kidding me. We've been in a drought, and then it's the week of the Brown County Fair, and now we've got rain, we've got severe weather, and we've got a tornado warning. They're supposed to have the parade in Georgetown, so hopefully they're holding off on all that right now. I've circled the location where we have the circulation right now, so it's coming up right along 62 here. That is where the circulation is south of Russellville. It is into the Bird Township area now. So if we have a tornado, that is where the tornado is going to be produced. Again, if we have one, it is going to be brief. It is going to be small. That is the type of situation that we're seeing here this afternoon. When you get these little waves or these little kinks on these lines of storms, you can sometimes get these brief spin-ups that do occur. So the National Weather Service, out in an abundance of caution, has issued this tornado warning here that's going to expire hopefully in the next few minutes. We will see if they carry this tornado warning over into Adams County. They might decide to do that. And if they do, we're going to continue with this. But for now, again, this tornado warning is set to expire at 5:45 in just a few minutes. But this is the location where we have that circulation right now. So if you're in the Russellville area, if you're in Bird Township, if you're in Neal here, these are the spots you need to be in your safe place now. If you have a basement, that's where you go. If you don't have a basement, lowest home of your floor, away from windows, a middle room that doesn't have any windows at all. The idea is to have as many walls between you and the outside as possible to protect you from a possible spin-up tornado that we're tracking here, potentially going through Brown County. But again, this is Doppler radar indicated. As Paul mentioned, we do not have any confirmation that a tornado is on the ground or has been on the ground, but you can see with our rotation detection right here along 62, coming up here, it looks like to 353 there, and then up here to the north is State Route 125, Ohio Pike. So it's going to be passing Ohio Pike here out in far eastern sections of Brown County very shortly, close to the Russellville area. So if you're in those spots, again, get to a safe place. That is the primary circulation, but there are other circulations. There's another one in the northern part of this tornado warning polygon, and there's one outside of the tornado warning polygon as well. So around this tornado warning, we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Brown County and Mason County. That is going to run until 6 o'clock. And on this, they have indicated within this orange polygon that a tornado is possible, even outside of the tornado warning area. So even in the orange area here, it's not out of the question that we get a spin-up tornado out of this line of storms as it comes through. Again, it would be brief. It would be a relatively small tornado if it were to occur at all. But you can see how this line of storms now is starting to bow, coming into Adams County, coming into West Union and Manchester and Cherry Fork now. And it's back here in this comma head area, getting very close to Russellville right now, where we have the circulation, where we have the possible tornado that has prompted this tornado warning for Brown County that is, again, set to expire in about a minute here. The severe thunderstorm warning for Adams, Brown, and Mason is going to run until 6. And you'll notice on the information with that, again, this is a storm that could also potentially produce a tornado, a quick, brief spin-up tornado here. Paul Poteet's got that circulation nailed right now over there on radar. You're detailing where it is.
Here's where the warning is, and again, it goes for about another minute. And here's what John's talking about in that area, just to the east of Byrd Township. And if it would hold together, then it would be moving into Adams County, a place called Ekmansville. So even if we don't get an extension of the tornado warning, if you're in that area, you may want to just be on the lookout. And right now, at just about 5:45, we don't see an extension of the tornado warning yet, but you still want to be careful because, as noted, the severe thunderstorm warning, that's the orange polygon, had what's called the possible tornado tag, just kind of like a heads up that there is some rotation and may eventually trigger a tornado warning. But right now, for the next at least a few seconds here, well, we'll take a look back here and see. Okay, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire, and so these are all then now severe thunderstorm warnings that are off to the east of where we've been looking at that circulation. This is Ripley, that's Neal, over into a West Union. Severe thunderstorm warnings that are now in place, and we'll give you an update on where those are or how long those warnings are going to be lasting. So those are all current severe thunderstorm warnings. And at this time, going until 6 o'clock this evening, or at least the warning there for parts of Adams, Lewis, and Mason County. And again, because of 60-mile-an-hour winds, we've detected some hail earlier, although don't really see, the last time that I looked at our hail product here that's looking for signs of hail, don't really see any indications. We'd had quite a bit. There's a little bit maybe down to the south and southeast. So we may have lost a little bit of intensity. We've been keeping an eye on that rotation. And again, although it doesn't seem to be producing enough concern for the Weather Service to continue the tornado warning, John, it does seem to, that area of general rotation is crossing now into Adams County from where it was in Byrd Township before. But now we technically at the moment don't have any more, have the tornado warning continuing past 5:45. Just severe thunderstorm warnings for several places off to the east and to the southeast.
Yeah, and that's good news right now that they haven't continued the tornado warning. There's still rotation here, and I've got it circled right here into Byrd Township, where you are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. They've had the tag on these warnings that a tornado is possible. And you can see here the latest radar scan kind of updating, so I'm going to kind of move the circle here. Right here, coming up into Ekmansville here is where there is still circulation. It is weakened, so it's not strong enough to prompt the Weather Service into issuing a tornado warning right now. But the circulation may get stronger again, and as a result, they may go ahead and issue another tornado warning. So that is a possibility we want to make you fully aware of as these storms move across Brown County this afternoon, where we did have a tornado warning. Right now, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Brown County and for Adams County. And you can see places like West Union under a severe thunderstorm warning, eastern sections of Brown County under a severe thunderstorm warning. They've got the tornado possible tag on it, so not enough to issue a tornado warning, but definitely a storm that could produce winds to 60 miles an hour. And a brief small tornado is not out of the realm of possibility with these storms as they continue to move out of Brown County into Adams County. We're going to keep a close eye on this storm. If there is another tornado warning or if we see anything that is looking concerning to us, we're going to come back on. Paul and I will continue to monitor this. Let's send it back over to Adam and Megan right now at the news desk. All right, we've got a brand new tornado warning that we want to show you right now. This is for northern parts of Adams County and southern parts of Highland County. So these storms have continued to intensify as they've moved into the eastern part of our viewing area right now. We've got another little spin up that has occurred here. So go over to Weather 1, guys. Put Weather 1 behind me right now. Weather 1 behind me. You got 2 behind me. Thank you. There's a look at it. This is the storm that we're keeping an eye on right now. If you're in the Jessup area, if you're in the Brush Creek Township area here, northern Adams County, southern parts of Highland County, you need to get to the lowest level of your home right now. This is a brand new tornado warning that is going to go until 6:30 6:30 this afternoon. Again, this is going to go until 6:30 this afternoon. The storm in question here, we're going to get a look at the rotation that is going on with this storm. And there it is. So again, it's one of these lines of storms where we get these little S curves on these lines within the winds here where we're seeing the possible tornado. So as we come in a little closer right here, you're going to notice that we're talking right here on the Adams County, Highland County line is where we have this circulation that has prompted a tornado warning. Again, this is a Doppler radar indicated tornado, just like the one we had before. We have no confirmation that there's actually a tornado on the ground here, but enough of a little bend in this wind field to indicate that a spin-up tornado is going to be possible here in northern Adams County and southern parts of Highland County. So what I want to do is get a track on this rotation as it continues across these areas right now. There's a look at the tornado warning polygon that does include northern Adams County, Jessup, up into Brush Creek Township, into Highland County. So this is south of Hillsborough. This is to the north of the Peebles area. So Peebles, you are not in the tornado warning. Hillsborough, you are not in this tornado warning. The circulation is south of your location here. So we're going to bring up, again, kind of a track on where this circulation is located. There it is right there. And we can give you an idea of the locations that will be impacted by this possible tornado. So if you're in these locations around Jessup, around Belfast Elementary School, get to your safe place right now. If you have a basement, that's where you go. No basement, lowest level of your home, middle of the home, in a room without windows, a closet, a bathroom that doesn't have windows, always an excellent place to just ride this out and wait for this storm to pass. But that is the rotation that we're seeing right now. North Uniontown, 6:14, the arrival time for you there. Elmville around 6:16, Brush Creek Township, 6:21, Fort Hill State Memorial, 6:23, and Sinking Spring around 6:23. Again, this is a Doppler radar indicated tornado. No confirmation that we have one on the ground right now, but enough of a concerning circulation within this line of storms that's coming right across this area. And where these lines have these little bends is where we can tend to get these little brief spin-up tornadoes that can occur. Meteorologist Paul Poteet has a better view of where that warning polygon is, Paul. And again, this is the similar situation that we saw down across Brown County, Bracken, and Mason County earlier.
You'll recall that the Storm Prediction Center levels that we showed you, the level 2, the higher risk, was off to the east of Cincinnati that we've been talking about today, and that indeed is where these things have developed. So on that border between Adams and Highland County, these are the areas that are under the tornado warning that goes until 6:30 now for parts of Adams and Highland County. And so that includes Tree Ridge and all the way up toward Brush Creek Township and Elmville and Jessup, if you're watching us there, around Bratton Township too. That's the tornado warning polygon. This is an area where a severe thunderstorm warning is in place. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 7 o'clock tonight for a good chunk of Adams and Highland, and then also down toward Lewis and Pike. This is out of our viewing area, but there's another segment of this line of storms that is also rotating down by the town of Charters. As far as where it is right now that we have the most concern, right along 247 there to the east of Folsom. If you're watching us in Jessup right now into that area, we'll give you a little bit of motion on this here and wind it back for the last, say, half hour or so, and see how we can see this approaching there. And there you can see maybe a little more intense wind also there. It's just in that area where 247, the highway is going north and south there, a little bit south of Fair Ridge Road to the west of Jessup. In that area is where we detect probably the biggest concern. Get the velocity data and then also our rotation detection here. This is a time lapse that will also give us another view. And again, this tends to lag maybe a little bit of time, but it points us into that same area, right along the border between the counties, approaching the Jessup area, 247 east of there, and maybe just around and south of where 73 meets up in that area. Jessup, Elmville possibly, and also Loudon. Make sure that you are taking heed, and hopefully you're watching us in the basement right now, if at all possible where you live. Then you've got the Local 12 weather app with you. Of course, remember the idea is to get as many walls between you and the outside, get into the center of the house if possible, on the lowest floor, away from windows, in those areas, Brown and Highland, or excuse me, of Highland and also Adams County, where we have the tornado warning till 6:30. Cover your head if possible. If you got a bike helmet, have that standing by too, and some blankets and pillows. In this area, John, the tornado warning continues until 6:30 for portions of Adams and Highland County. That's still 6:30. Severe thunderstorm warnings are also along this line of storms. John was pointing out the fact that they have a tendency to you can see the kinks in the line of storms. And if you look at this time in this area, as a matter of fact, you'll be able to see what we're talking about there with the storms. This is the typical base reflectivity that we show you. There's the tornado warning up to the north, and you can see the storms just kind of the wavy pattern that's in place from Hillsborough on down to the south. So take cover at this time. And at this time, John, I don't see any confirmation from any of the weather watchers right now, other than the fact that from the analysis at the Weather Service that the storm is organizing right along that border of Adams and Highland County.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear that this is not a situation where we have those individual supercell thunderstorms that will produce strong tornadoes. That is not the situation we have here. These are QLCS tornadoes, quasi-linear convective system tornadoes. What are those? Those are tornadoes that can spin up briefly. They're typically very small tornadoes. They may only be on the ground, if they form, for a minute or two tops. So it's akin to finding a needle in a haystack here for the Weather Service, trying to issue the tornado warnings along this line of storms as it moves across Highland, Adams County, and now as it's moving through Lewis County, Kentucky, where there's a tornado warning, as Paul mentioned, just outside of our viewing area there. Lewis County, not our area of coverage here, but nonetheless, we know we do have some viewers down there in Lewis County. So if you're in Lewis County, Kentucky, you are under a tornado warning down there now as well for another Doppler radar indicated tornado. The good news in all this is once this line of storms clears our viewing area, and that's going to happen in less than an hour, then the threat for any severe weather is over. So this is not a threat that's going to continue tonight. In fact, we're fine in Cincinnati now. It is the eastern half of our viewing area that we're most concerned with this line of storms that gets these little waves along it. And with those waves that develop, we can get brief spin-up tornadoes that come out of this. So coming in again, concentrating on what's going on, we've got a big severe thunderstorm warning now that extends all the way from eastern Highland County down into Adams County. That's for winds to 60 miles an hour, just a general warning along that line of storms where we could get some pockets of some stronger winds. Within that line of storms in northern Adams County and southern Highland County, that is where we have a tornado warning for a Doppler radar indicated tornado. So there's no confirmation that we have a tornado here, but this is Doppler radar indicated. So we come in a little tighter here. And again, we've been calling out Jessup, Folsom. These are the areas where the circulation is currently located. So if you're in those locations, that's where you should be in your safe spot right now, just in case. Ride this thing out. Again, as I mentioned before, even if we get a tornado developing here, you're not going to be able to see it. So don't go looking for this thing because it'll be rain wrapped. It'll be brief. So it's not something you're going to be able to see by any stretch of the imagination. But right in this location here, riding just out of Adams County, just across the line into Highland County, that is where the circulation is currently located. And these are the locations that we actually have concern with right now for a possible tornado. So let me circle. Again, it's this little notch in the wind. You can see how this is straight where these winds meet here, where you got winds going toward the radar and away from the radar. It's kind of a straight line, and then it kind of kinks or buckles right here as you get close to Adams County. So it's right there that we find we can get these brief, small spin-up tornadoes that may touch down, maybe an EF0, maybe an EF1 that's on the ground maybe for a minute, 2 minutes tops, and then the thing lifts back up and it's gone. So that is what the National Weather Service is trying to detect, given our radar technology here that we have, the possibility of a tornado in that location there. So we come in a little tighter here to give you some of the streets here. We got 73 here, we got 785 here. Basically right here where northern Adams County comes together with southern Highland County. So North Uniontown, Elmville, Jessup, if you're in these locations, get to your safe place right now, because that is where we have the possible circulation. And Paul Poteet has some arrival times of that very circulation right now he wants to share with us.
We mentioned Jessup, and so places off to the east of that, when the warning was originally out, it looked like the circulation was moving off to the east at about 30 miles an hour. So that would place it right along State Road 73 through there, moving to the east and possibly into the Elmville area here within the next couple of minutes. So if you're watching us in Elmville, take shelter in your basement right now or the lowest floor wherever you are at this time. In Elmville, Brush Creek Township at about 6:10 this evening. Sinking Spring then at 6:12. Kincaid Springs at 6:19 and to Sunfish at 6:22. There's a Western High School that could be in the area of the circulation by about 6:21 this evening. So, John, as it continues to move east, some of the towns that may be in danger.
All right, breaking right now, Paul, brand new tornado warning has come out for southeastern Adams County. This is going to run until 6:30. They've carried that tornado warning for the storm in Lewis County over into southeastern Adams County and out through Scioto County. So this is a brand new tornado warning that is going to run until 6:30 for southeastern sections of Adams County, Ohio, with that storm that is now coming out of Lewis County. So let's concentrate on that one right now. And we've got a defined circulation here coming out of Lewis County. It's a weak circulation, but it's defined. And there it is. This is south of Stout in Adams County. They're crossing the river, but this is Lewis County, Vanceburg right here. This is going to cross back over the Ohio River and impact portions of southeastern Adams County. So we can give you a track on this particular circulation. There it is. And we'll show you some of the spots that this thing is going to impact as it carries into southeastern Adams County here. And quite frankly, there aren't a lot of towns out here. This is a very rural part of the viewing area here. So Twin Creek Mission Historical Church there. It's 617. If you know where that is, it's a historical location here. So there may not actually be anything there, but this is southeastern Adams County. So this circulation in Lewis County is going to cross back over the river, cross over 52 here, and come up into rural sections of southeastern Adams County, where we have a brand new tornado warning that is going to go until 6:30. I want to give you another track here that takes into account a little more of the broad circulation that we have there, and it'll probably capture a few more locations, hopefully. So yeah, so there's some more of the locations. Again, this is a very sparsely populated part of the viewing area here, but Stout around 607, Sandy Springs around 611, and again, there's the Twin Creek Mission historical location there that is on the map. The far southeastern portion of Adams County, again, under a tornado warning for another Doppler radar indicated tornado until 6:30. So if you are here in rural sections of southeastern Adams County, take shelter. This is just outside of Squirreltown there, so you're southeast of there is where the polygon is. So technically right in the center of Squirreltown there, you're not in this tornado warning. But areas southeast of there, you are under a brand new tornado warning that goes until 6:30. Lowest level of your home, again, if you got a basement, that's where you want to go. At the very least here, you've got intense lightning, intense rainfall coming through these locations now, coming out of Lewis County, crossing right over the Ohio River into Adams County. And again, it's a situation, even if we get a tornado spinning up out of this, you're not going to see it. It's going to be rain wrapped because there's intense rain that is coming through that location in southeastern Adams County right now. But that tornado warning officially goes until 6:30. Coming back up here, checking in again on this storm that's coming across northern Adams County and southern Highland County, where we currently have a tornado warning in effect. We still have that bend that we're seeing here along this line of storms. And when you see those bends, that is an indication to us that a tornado is certainly possible. And as we come into the winds here, winds going toward the radar, away from the radar, right here, I mean, this is kind of riding the northern part of Adams County and the southern part of Highland County. It's right in that location there that we have a possible tornado. So we could circle that again and give you some arrival times of where this is kind of coming together. So that's the location where we're seeing the rotation. And as we take this across sections of Highland County, southern Highland County, Duckard Ridge Church there around 613, Elmville around 615, Cedar Chapel 618, Brush Creek Township 620, Lincolnville 621, and Fort Hill State Memorial around 622. A possible tornado. If you're in these locations, if you're near these locations, just get to the lowest level of your home, wait for this thing to pass. You know, hopefully we do not get a tornado spinning down out of this thing, but it is possible given the radar signature that we're seeing right now. And Paul has kind of a good map again showing us where the tornado warning polygons are, where the severe thunderstorm warning polygons are. It's all about the polygons with these things, Paul.
That's right. You got to respect the polygon. The red ones, obviously, are the tornado warnings, and even the orange one, which is a broad area that's under a severe thunderstorm warning. From what I'm seeing there, there's still what's called a tag on that says it's a possible tornado, which indicates that the storm still exhibits some signs of rotation, not enough to fire up a tornado warning. But in this whole area, where you see these wavy storms around right now, and these little plenty of lightning. My gosh, look at that one down toward the outside of our viewing area to the southeast around Charters. That is nasty. And where you see it waving around like this is the area where we have all of these severe thunderstorm warnings in place. The tornado warnings that we have in place, they both go until 6:30. And again, you know, we had a situation here where part of it was originally out of our viewing area, but now back into our viewing area for portions of at least a corner of Adams County. Both of these go until 6:30 this evening. There's the regular radar data that shows the intensity of the particles coming back from the air, the precipitation targets from the air, and we'll look again at some of the rotation, the tornado warning that's up around Elmville and Jessup. They've trimmed the western portion of that as that continues to move off to the east. So I really need to update this little circle that you see here because it's moved off a little farther to the east now. I would say in Jessup, probably a little bit of an all clear through there. In that area right around Elmville and over, say, towards Sinking Spring and Brush Creek Township, anywhere along here and just to the east and to the northeast at this time, those would be some of the biggest areas of concern where you'd want to be into your safe place at this time. We'll zoom out and give you a little broader view into that area again, and that would be off eventually to the east if it holds together, perhaps toward Brush Creek Township. In addition to Elmville. That's one area of circulation. And then down to the south, this again has moved off to the east here in just the last little bit. So let's show you this and highlight some of the areas where, again, we could be seeing some potential problems. Rockville and also into McGaw. That's a tornado warning also that goes until 6:30 this evening for at least a corner of Adams County. And you may hear another little ding going off there, so we'll double check where we've got a tornado warning until now, John, 6:45 this evening. So it's been extended for Adams County and Highland County. So to go back to the big chart here, so maybe you can get your bearings a little more easily. The tornado warning that's in place for portions of Adams County and Highland County now. You can see where they've extended it out, where we're just looking at the circulation going off to the east. So this is a new one. This one's going to go until 6:45 this evening to the north and northeast of Peebles, going off to the east. That's a tornado warning that's now in place until 6:45. The one that shows you 6:30, that was the one that was in play earlier. And then we have another tornado warning down to the southeast. That one goes until 6:30. So the rotation is definitely persistent with all of these cells as they march along in that that little line that's waving back and forth right now. So these are the places, say to the east of Brush Creek Township now. If you want to go back and look at that on the radar here, we'll show you some of the rotation in that area. First of all, we'll zoom out here so you can get your bearings a little more. We've been looking earlier in places, I think I may be stuck here for a second, John. In just a second here. We'll see up in the area around Brush Creek Township, and you can see it to the north of Bratton Township there, North Uniontown, Elmville, just to the east there, where we have some brighter reds and greens coming together. And some of the roadways around there, we've got 124 Harriet Road there to get your bearings. That's Elmville Road right around Elmville, and then this is over towards Sinking Spring. So these areas, and then off to the east where we're seeing those little kinks in the both the reflectivity, the regular radar data that we show you, and then also the measurement of winds, the depiction of the winds that are going to or from the radar target at this time. So a new tornado warning. It goes until 6:45, and John, it's parts of Highland and Adams County. So we got another 40 or another half hour conceivably in those two counties as this continues to march off to the east. You can see the little the bend in the line there, and then just off to the east of that, this is the whole area of the very new tornado warning. And so because of that circulation expected to last possibly off to the east, if you're watching us in Poplar Grove or Byington, I guess we're getting off maybe toward the end of our viewing area at some point there.
Yeah, getting close to that. You know, and I think it's worth pointing out too, Paul, that along this line of storms, there's several little areas of rotation that may spin up one of these brief, small tornadoes. So within this tornado warning polygon here, I've kind of marked a couple areas of concern here coming again across northern parts of Adams County, where you're under a tornado warning now, and that's going to carry out until 6:45, and then traveling across the county line there up here into Highland County, very close to North Uniontown, Brush Creek Township, another little area of circulation. So we're marking those areas of circulation. We can kind of give you a track across the entire thing. Because there are multiple areas of circulation within this whole polygon. So as we look at this and kind of track it off to the east, some of the places that will be possibly impacted include Brush Creek Township around 617, Fort Hill State Memorial, we've called that out a few times, around 619, Byington around 630, Newfane 630, Arco around 635, Western High School 637, Sunfish 638, that's in Adams County, Elm Grove at 644. So those are some of the spots, again, that could be impacted by this area of storms, this line of storms that's moving across, that has multiple places where we're seeing circulation along it, which could potentially drop a brief, small tornado. And that's what we're talking about here. We don't have confirmation of a tornado that's on the ground. We don't have any confirmation that a tornado has touched down anywhere right now. What we're seeing are Doppler radar indications of circulation along a line of storms that could potentially produce a brief, small tornado. And by what we mean by saying brief is if one develops, might only be on the ground a minute or two tops before it lifts here. So that's why the Weather Service, out of an abundance of caution, has issued this tornado warning. Again, it's in effect for Adams County, northern Adams County, and southern Highland County. Expiration is going to be between 6:30 and 6:45, depending on location, because we're dealing with a couple of different tornado warnings right now. But if you're anywhere in these locations or near these locations, just play it safe here. This doesn't mean we have a tornado. It means there's a potential for one. So just get to the center portion of your home, the lowest floor. If you have a basement, go there. Middle of your house, away from windows, and a small interior room. If you don't have a basement, like a bathroom or closet without windows, and just wait for this thing to pass by to play it safe here, because we could get a tornado dropping out of this line of storms at any point here, coming through Highland County and northern parts of Adams County where that tornado warning is in effect. Surrounding that, again, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning that does extend up here through Highland County all the way down into Adams County for winds to 60 miles per hour. And they've been tagging that with the tornado possible tag, meaning that, yeah, maybe there's a circulation that pops up outside of one of these tornado warning polygons that produces a brief tornado. That is indeed a possibility here, but the Weather Service, in their best effort, is trying to give you an idea of where these tornadoes are going to be possible. All right, good news, southeastern Adams County, they've lifted you from the tornado warning now, so that's good news. You're still under the severe thunderstorm warning. The worst of that storm, the circulation, is now moving off to the east right now, out of Adams County. So that is some good news there. Southeastern Adams County, you're now out of the tornado warning. Scioto County, though, you're going to continue with that tornado warning until 6:30 this evening. So the circulation now out of southeastern Adams County. It is passed to the east there. So that is good news. That circulation exiting our viewing area right now, but we still have the tornado warning to the north that we're keeping an eye on here for southern parts of Highland County. This does not include the Hillsborough area, and this does include northern parts of Adams County. And I want to point out this tornado warning does not include Peebles. It is north of Peebles, Bratton Township, Poplar Grove. Those are the areas under this tornado warning now. So Peebles, you're not included. Hillsborough, you are not included in the tornado warning. It's north of Peebles, it's south of Hillsborough is the location that we're most concerned with right now, where we have this tornado warning polygon in effect. So Brush Creek Township, Elmville, Bratton Township, Poplar Grove, Marshall, you're right on the edge of it. Those are the locations that you need to be in your safe place right now. Lowest level of your home, basement, if you've got one. Paul Poteet is looking at the velocity signature, and it looks like a squiggly line, Paul. You look at that thing, it's like somebody took a marker and just squiggled all over it. And it's those squiggles that are the concern.
That's indicating where the winds are obviously showing signs of turning, which is what you don't want to see eventually on the ground. Just because you see circulation from the radar, it may not be something that ever reaches the ground. We hope it isn't. And you mentioned that the severe thunderstorm warning that covers a broad area right now has what's called the tornado possible tag on it, and it looks like maybe there's a little bit of circulation trying to come together in this area. Otway, again, we're moving out of our viewing area, but you can see some of that, maybe off to the east of Peebles at this time, where there's a little indentation there. There's no tornado warning there at this time. The tornado warning that is in place still for a part of our viewing area, we've been tracking this ever since over around Jessup here. That circulation moving past Elmville, and it's now in the area around just to the north of Sinking Spring and to the east of Brush Creek Township at this time. So if you are watching us anywhere in that area, say along Ohio 41 and then over to the north of Lincolnville, this is Cynthiana Road 506 up here, the road that's moving off to the left to the right there. Looks like we've got some signs, the brighter, we're looking for the brighter green. There's an updated scan there. You can see it moved up just a little bit to the north and northeast. So it's in that area, say just to the north of Sinking Spring, and then to the north and northeast of Lincolnville, again along 41, and then moving off to the east-northeast, Newfane, which would, again, we're tracking these as they move to the very edge of local 12 land. That's the reason for the tornado warning right now. That's the strongest circulation that we see at this time. You look for the brightest reds on this particular scan here, and you can certainly see it right there where the polygon is in place. So that was the warning that was in place, and then they extended it on off to the east. That's the one that goes until 6:45. That's the only tornado warning that we're tracking right now, but there are severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place for those of you watching in Peebles all the way down toward Squirreltown. That particular warning, the severe thunderstorm warning, goes until I think 6:30 or that goes till 7 o'clock, the severe thunderstorm warning that's in place there. The red that you see by the town called Nile, that's out of the local 12 viewing area. So our concentration right now is for you folks, especially Elmville, Bratton Township perhaps still, and Brush Creek Township, and then over eventually to Byington, Poplar Grove. Laparelle. That's a town I know that's out of our viewing area because I don't know if I've ever said that one before, John. But if you have friends there and you're watching us in the eastern part of our viewing area, certainly let them know that the circulation may be coming their way too.
Yeah, storm tracking is always an adventure in geography, for
right.
sure. I just want to give you the big view right now. We're going to stay with this a few more minutes until these tornado warnings have cleared our area of responsibility. Back in Cincinnati, we're fine, just some showers. Once this line of storms gets out of our viewing area, and that's going to happen in minutes, there's no more severe weather threat the rest of the night, so that's the good news. Dave Slater, our producer, tells me that the Brown County has canceled all of their fair-related activities tonight because of the storms that have been moving through there. And again, I feel for the folks in Brown County. We've been in a drought. The weather's been great to have a fair, and then now the first day of fall, here we are with severe weather. But the last of those storms continues to move through southeastern Highland County now and through Adams County. So it's just this area that we're concentrating on right now for the remaining storms that is posing not only a high wind threat of winds of 60 miles an hour, but also the threat for a brief spin-up tornado. So once these storms get out of the area in minutes here, that is the end of the severe weather threat for the rest of tonight. Now, Wednesday, we might have another severe weather threat coming back, and that's something we're going to keep an eye on at the very least by Wednesday, the threat for more heavy rainfall. But we will concentrate again on these storms, which are now exiting southeastern Highland County and northeastern Adams County, where we continue right now with a tornado warning that is in effect here for places like Brush Creek Township, Poplar Grove, right on the edge of this right now. So if you're in those places, you should still be in your safe spot right now, whether that's a basement, whether that's the middle portion of your house away from windows in an interior room without windows like a closet, or like a small bathroom that doesn't have windows, for instance, on the lowest floor. So just wait this thing out another few minutes. It still has circulation with it. And again, as we look here into southeastern Highland County, coming down here into northern parts of Adams County, we've still got that circulation right on the edge of the viewing area right now. And there's a couple little spots here that we are seeing the circulation. So it's right on the edge of our viewing area, right here, and again, right about there. So those are the spots that could be producing a brief, small tornado. One that maybe drops down, it's on the ground a minute, 2 minutes tops, maybe 3, and then it moves on. So right on the edge of the viewing area is the locations that we're focusing on for that possible tornado at this point. So we can give you, again, another track as I look at these winds along this line here. And this is going to carry off to the east out of our viewing area. So Byington, Sunfish, Laparelle, Western High School, Elm Grove, Idaho, Buchanan School, and Pebble, all in the path of this circulation. I know we've got some viewers out here just outside the viewing area that are keeping track of this. These are the spots, again, where we could get a brief tornado spinning up as this circulation continues to move off. It's moving off to the east very slightly. I think 25, 30 miles an hour is the forward speed of this line of storm. So right on the edge of the viewing area. And there's the latest scan, Paul, that has just come through here. So we could update again the locations that these things are moving. Arco, Sunfish, Western High School, Elm Grove, Idaho, Pebble, Van Meter, and Buchanan School, the locations that will see these circulations moving through. So if you're in or around any of these spots, get to the lowest level of your home, get to your basement if you have one. Possible tornado moving through these locations right now. So far, again, and I don't know if you've seen it, I haven't seen anything, Paul, but so far I've seen no confirmation that we've had any damage or anything touched down, which is great.
No reports from spotters, no reports from amateur radio operators at this time that any of those various circulations that we have been tracking have reached the ground. And so that's the good news. And as you said, it's just about to move out of our primary coverage area here at WKRC and off to the east. So right there on the county line to the north of Sinking Spring and off to the east, that's where we see the strongest winds right now. So we're We're almost coming up here on 6:30, and let me give you a broad view of the watches and the warnings are in place. Well, they're all warnings, but the tornado warnings and the severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place for that corner of Highland and Adams County. And the tornado warning that remains at this time, that's the one to the west, that western section of it that we first reported on. That should end here in just a few moments. I imagine that they're going to let that expire. In the meantime, what we've been tracking to the east of that, is in place until 6:45 this evening. Let me double check that. 6:45 this evening, and again, that eventually goes out of the viewing area. This is this portion off to the east. So that's the tornado warning situation. Anywhere else that you see in orange right there indicates an area that's under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. And then again, out of our viewing area.